Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of It's Messy, but It's So Good. And today I have a returning champion, Don Kilcoyne. Welcome, Don.
Thank you so much, Fran. It's so good to see you again.
Yeah, it's great to see you. And just a little recap on Don's background. He's an award-winning creative director and writer, and he's been doing that for 40 years. He's launched several magazines, several marketing campaigns through his career for hundreds of brands. He's published three novels. He teaches and performs and runs local events. And now he's running for town board for Warwick, New York. So that's really exciting. And we wanted to have you on to get your message out. So
Appreciate that.
So my first question would be, what inspired you to run for the town board?
Great question. Thank you so much. First, again, let me thank you so much for having me on again. My entree into the whole running for office thing actually started with an invitation a number of years ago to work for the Board of Elections, just helping run elections. I was, showing up on polling days to run the machines, to check people in, because we need people getting engaged, helping the actual mechanism of the election work. So I've been doing that for a number of years. On my non-marketing side, we've spoken about how I have a lot of theater experience. And
Right.
through my theater experience, I've been meeting for years lots of young folks who are a wonderful island of misfit toys in their own way. They're young people who are challenged by what the world is handing them, and a lot of them are very afraid. They
Mhm.
are. I have a lot of young transgender friends, a lot of young, otherwise queer friends who are kind of looking at the world and saying, what are you hitting us with? What is this clown hammer that you keep smacking us with? And they ask me, as like the old dude who seems to be surviving, they say, what do we do? And I keep telling them, get involved, meet people of like minds, find courage in community, do
Mhm.
anything, write a postcard, knock on a door, show up at a protest, surrounding yourself by courageous people who are also standing up will give you courage, help you sleep, give you comfort. And then when the Democrats reached out to me and said, hey, Don, we have a campaign, an election coming up, and would you like to run for town board? I had to say, I've been telling kids to say yes,
Mhm.
to get involved, and to do something. And so the Democrats basically tapped into my um, sleeping well of courage and made me say, I have to walk the talk. I've been
Mm.
telling other people to do this. I have to say yes. And I'm so glad I did. It's been an amazing year so far.
Yeah, that's beautiful and so needed. It's just incredible what's going on right now in our country. And your background is so interesting as being a creative person. How do you think that influences you in terms of, being in politics now, in local politics?
So I trace my creative roots and my creative mantras back to a wonderful teacher I had in college named Arthur Reel. I don't even know if Professor Reel is still with us, but bless his memory if he's not. He told us an amazing thing in one of my creative writing classes. He said, if you don't have something new to say or a new way to say it, shut up. I went,
Mm.
oh, okay. So that's my creative roots is always say something new or find a new way to say it. And I think
Mhm.
um, in politics these days, that's an incredible challenge is to not repeat the same tropes, not repeat the same comforting language that everybody says, because that becomes white noise. But the only way to say something really new and say it in a new way is to listen to the people that you're talking to and make sure that you're actually addressing what they've asked. Um, it's the surest way to make sure that your creativity taps into your authenticity, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Um, and that's what I'm trying to do, which means I'm going to make a lot of missteps. I'm going to say some awkward things, but I'd rather say something awkward that's true than something tropey and expected. So
Right.
I hope that
And
answered your question.
yeah, I mean, you're expanding how to approach politics, I think, in a different way,
Mhm.
with connecting in a different way and using like your background, which is all about, you know, being in the present moment, right?
Mhm. Right, right. Well,
It, yeah, in the true sense of being like
yes,
totally like, when we watch someone in creative endeavor, when people are in the present moment. I mean, that's
right.
the difference between something coming out good and something coming out bad. So, knowing your personality and your genuine spirit, I can't help but, think that you're going to just add so much expansion to politics.
Well, I appreciate that. And if I can pull that thread, the add and expand is really my training in theater is improv. And the classic thing is the yes and. Yes and is not just a trick that you do on stage. Yes and is a way of life, right? So when you say accept and expand, that's what yes and is. It's I accept your reality and I want to add whatever value I can to it.
Mhm.
So it all has to start with listening, truly hearing people, and as you say, always being in the moment because otherwise you're writing your lines instead of listening to their thoughts. So that helps.
Right.
Can I give you one example of literally how theater has been part of the campaign?
Absolutely. I'd love that.
So I had planned to do something before I even became a candidate, and it happened to work out perfectly. Um, we did a live Constitution reading down on Railroad Green in May. And I had planned to do that and then was put in touch with wonderful people who were able to help. Um, and who knew that we were going to need a live recorded reminder of the Constitution every day? So what I did was I staged with friends from so many different organizations, including cinematographers and sound guys. We did a full reading from the first word to the last of the Constitution live on microphones in front of Railroad Green, and we've been using those pieces all year as anchors and reminders that when our federal government does X, Y, or Z that violates the Constitution, here's the reminder. This is what the words are, read by one of your neighbors.
Mm.
Remember this because this is what is in jeopardy right now. And so that sort of theatrical, affirmingly performative event has become a great communication tool all year. So, so I like how that has merged.
So how are you using that? You're speaking to people, but are you using it in media or just?
I I am. I'm using it in
Mhm.
media. Basically, it's on YouTube. It's on Facebook. I've started putting it on Threads, and people have been sharing them. And what's lovely, it's just also it's our neighbors. This isn't an externally created event that I'm just sharing. It's like no, we came together as a community
Yeah.
to remind each other. The Constitution to me is not an old document, it's a promise to each other, um, that says these are the rights that we have, not because they're given to us by the government, but because the government is constrained from taking them away. And we
Hmm.
all agree that we're going to follow these rules, we the people. So I thought it was necessary and appropriate to have the people. And we had a wide range of people. We had somebody show up. We had two people show up as Ben Franklin and his wife, and they were wonderful. We had another young lawyer show up dressed as Betsy Ross, and they were just in the spirit of it, remembering what the Constitution means and what the promise of the Constitution is. So
Yeah.
I'm getting too effusive on that. It was really an amazing.
No, but it's
So
showing how your creativity makes an impact,
I hope so.
which is, let's face it, politics is not something you think of as something being very creative. It is
Right.
important, of course, depending on who our politicians are.
Mm-hmm.
No, but even either side, I mean, it's important.
Right.
So I think that makes so much more of an impact. But I'm just wondering also, like, what are the biggest challenges that you see facing our town right now?
So that's twofold. No,
Yeah.
I take that back. It's threefold. One, there are very specific um, zoning challenges and environmental protection questions that are being addressed, but I believe can be addressed more creatively and with more foresight. It's interesting to me that the last couple of weeks I spent some time at one end of the town down in Greenwood Lake talking about protecting that lake. They're facing so many issues, from invasive species to the algae blooms to very, very old septic infrastructure that is literally running downhill. And I think some of these septic systems were built 100 years ago.
Yeah.
So they're facing those issues, but then you get in your car and you drive 15 minutes, and on the other end of town in Florida, they're also facing issues with Glenmere Lake, and it's all about the water. Um,
Mm.
and there are things being done to address it, but again, I believe there are so many more um, choices we can make and solutions we can find. There are grants available through the state that I believe we can keep reaching out for. Um, what we really need on the town board is to make sure that we take care of these issues without impacting people's taxes. We're
Right.
The state is a community. We can find the resources to deal with this without reaching into the pockets of our neighbors. That's one thing. Those are technical things that can be done administratively. Another issue that I believe we have in this town is that people don't know that there's an election on November 4th. That's terrifying to me. Um, we are a wonderful town full of really kind of inspirationally glowing goodness. When you look at some of the projects done in this town by the community, um, it's astonishing and it's inspiring. And then when you hear that there are issues people are concerned about and don't know what they can do about it, that they don't know there's an election on November 4th, and they're concerned about national issues, they're concerned about local issues. And the one lever they have to actually make a difference is to vote, and they don't even know. I'd say half the people I run into don't realize that there's an off-year election here in Warwick that affects Orange County, affects Warwick, affects the whole state. So
Why do you think that is, though? I
what
mean, yeah, that they don't know because, I mean, is there not enough, you know, communication about it, or, what's the issue? Is it like
I
people are hiding? They don't want
I
to.
think the world is too busy. There's so much going on that people are not focused, just not focused on that. We always talk about the midterms, and
Mhm.
that is the trope. It's always, oh, we're going to handle it in the midterms.
Right,
Everybody knows when the midterms are. That's next November.
right.
This November is when we get to tap the brakes on some of these abuses, send a message that the Democrats are awake, that independents are awake, that caring citizens are awake. Because if we wait till the midterms, it's like driving into a high speed curve on the highway, right? You tap the brakes well before you get to that curve, and Next November is that curve. We have to tap the brakes now and
Yeah.
let Democrats know we can win. Let the world know that we're not going to just accept what's happening. We're tapping the
Right.
brakes on it. So
Yeah, along with, attending rallies, along with, using the app Five Calls, along
yes.
with someone like you getting involved, it's, in local politics.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Well, I mean, that's great. I knew about it.
Yes, you did. But you, because of the nature of who you are, you're very informed. And you're doing something like this. The people I'm talking about, the people I'm talking to, they're young families.
Hmm.
They know when the school board election is because
Yeah.
that impacts them directly. It's so important. Um, but we just need to get the word out. I think as we see the signs blossoming on the side of the road, people will know. But it just that's the one thing that scares me is to me this is a get off the couch election. I think 2024 was a people didn't get off the couch election. And we need to just remind people you can make a difference. All we need is a few percentage points, one way or the other, of people expressing their concerns and taking action, and we can change everything.
Yeah.
But not if you sit on the couch.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And numb out. Yeah. Um,
and so, Fran, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. I I don't want to get into politician mode. So, can you do me a favor and warn me if I do that? If I start speaking, just I've been talking a lot the last couple of months, and authenticity is important with you. So I want to make sure that I don't get into that preaching mode.
no, no, because I really want to hear the nuts and bolts.
I appreciate it.
Because, you know, that's what people want to hear. I think people want to hear what changes can really occur
There you go.
with their vote, So you mentioned the environment. What
Mm,
is there anything else? And you said there were threefold. So what would be the other aspects?
I have to go back and think what were the three aspects. Oh yes, um, the so we have the actual administrative issue. We have the actually getting out and voting issue. Um, I think we also in Warwick need to be aware that while we see our neighbors as truthfully really wonderful folks who come out and they volunteer and they are committed to inclusivity, that there is still a hard pushback on a lot of our issues in Warwick that can be intimidating for people. You'll see, like during Pride Month, all the nasty, undermining signs that go
Mhm.
out. Equating gay people with just horrible things. And so there is this undercurrent of animosity and unacceptance here in Warwick. What broke my heart was that as I was doing research on the town, because you want to learn from the inside and from the outside. What did people think of us from the outside? A number of reviews of Warwick literally have that dichotomy that says this is a beautiful town with wonderful people, incredible shops, delicious apples, and an undercurrent of racism. I'm like, what? Um, that that breaks my heart. Um, and I think one of the things we can do by having a great showing at the polls, showing up for protests, um, is make a strike against that perception and make a strike against the people creating that perception. Let them
Mm.
know that's not welcome here. Um, because we don't want to be known for that. And yeah, when I realized that you don't see it from the inside, but people see it from the outside, and that's not good for our town at all.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's pervasive throughout our country.
Yes, yes, it is. But the
Yeah,
idea that even in a country where it's pervasive, it's in the specific reviews of our town,
right.
that's not acceptable. And
Yeah.
we need to we need to do something to soften that, to just remind people it's like, no, that's not who we are. And we need to take some action to let people know that we're just not going to accept that in our town.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um,
Thanks. So, as far as leaving a message, which you kind of have been doing, about your vision for the town, um, is there anything else that you want to add? Because I know this is so important. I mean, you're a very busy person. You do a lot of things and very involved in the community as it is, but this is so important to you because you have a vision, for the
mhm.
town, for individuals living there, for the community. Is there anything you'd like to leave as as just, a communication to people going out to vote on November
Yes.
4th?
Yes, you actually said the word there is communication. I believe that what I can help do and what overall our democratic goal is to improve the communication in our town. And that means transparency with our town board, better communication with our zoning board, cracking open some of our codes and revisiting them in a public forum. This is
Hmm.
what's important to you. We have a 700 something page zoning plan. Is this really serving us? We have a farm, the CBP plan to protect our farms. Is that serving Warwick still? Do we need to have a conversation about improving that plan? Is it time? So my goal, because I am a professional communicator,
Hmm.
is to improve the communication between the town board and the complete community of Warwick. I actually think like Village of Warwick, they do a great job. I think they're wonderful at communicating, and I want that model to be shared with everybody throughout the town of Warwick, so that we know when things are happening. We hear from the board what we're talking about. There's nothing behind a closed door. Let's have a conversation. Let's get newsletters out there so people constantly know what our town is doing,
Hmm.
where we're spending your money, who we're hiring. Um, so communication, I think, is a really important thing for me, and it is a skill that I can bring to the board and add value, specific skill set based value, because anything else is a little bit of a pie in the sky. This is where I can roll up my sleeves, and I believe I can help.
That's
Does that
wonderful.
answer your question?
Yes, absolutely. Yes,
Wonderful.
yes. Everything you said makes perfect sense. It's like, why don't we have that now? But in terms of, your own personal gift that you have received through the process of the last year of campaigning, learning more about what's going on in the town, and having a vision for the future, what's the greatest gift that you've received?
I would say the greatest gift is being able to knock on a door in this town, not knowing who is behind the door, and creating a new relationship.
Mm.
Um, I play a game sometimes that I call the Lady and the Tiger. Is I'll knock on a door that I don't know if they're Democrat or Republican or how old they are or the gender. They're a neighbor, and I'm going to knock on their door. And I have met some of the most wonderful folks, people who sometimes I've seen around town, but we
Mhm.
never connected a name. I knew nothing about them. They knew nothing about me. I'm visually quite recognizable. They go, "Oh, you're the guy with the mustache." Yes, I am. And you're the woman with the incredible fireplace, in the yard. Oh, great, great to meet you. So it's making personal connections with people that I probably would never have met, and I've been here 22 years. Um, I know that sounds corny, but really it is that. it's that opening the door. I've spent some, I've spent like half an hour on people's porches,
Yeah.
and it's been absolutely wonderful. No matter what happens in this election, I feel like my roots in this town are deeper and healthier, and my relationships are so much more diverse. So,
I relate 100% because through this podcast, I've been able to get to know people and their
mhm.
story and their passions.
Yeah,
And for me, that's my passion, you know?
yes.
So I understand how important that is, and it's a beautiful thing. So we're very blessed to have you, Don Kilcoyne.
Well, thank you so much, Fran, and we are blessed to have you as well.
Oh,
May I? I know this is not part of the presentation that your full podcast, but the way you warm up your guest, may I speak on that for just a second?
please, thank you.
When I first spoke with you a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, um,
Hmm.
I was not as open to the meditative opening. Um, but I think I saw how it did center me and help me speak with you the first time. And my journey has required a lot of regrouping and recentering. That's how you can get through the peopliness of this business. And
Hmm.
I just want to say the difference in today's centering was just absolutely wonderful, and I want to thank you for it.
Oh, thanks, Don. Thanks.
Look,
It's my pleasure. It's
well,
important, I think, you know, to always set an intention.
mm-hmm,
If you can do it every day, that's great.
I agree.
And sometimes, you know, it's messy, but it's something
Mm-hmm.
we fall off. But, you know, at least you have that guiding light that you're moving towards, and we do the best we can and leave the rest to
Well,
what will be and just take the actions we can.
I think I mentioned to you last time we spoke about my personal mantra, which of course has been so useful during this campaign process. Is for many years, whenever I do anything for the public in public, where I have an opportunity to affect people in any way, my personal prayer is give me this day that I may give it back to you through the people you meet. And that's a call out to the universe.
Mm,
Give it to me so I can give it back to you. And I tell you, speaking in front of people, speaking with you, speaking at doors, on porches, that intention, as you describe, of giving the day back is just has helped so much. And I've been saying that prayer for probably 30 years. And I
yeah.
never knew it would have an actual practical application.
That's great.
So,
Well, thank you so much, Don. And everybody, please get out and vote on November 4th in our community,
yes.
which includes Warwick, Greenwood Lake, Florida. Anybody I'm
Florida,
missing?
Pine Island,
Pine Island,
Amity, all the
Amity,
villages
all
they're in,
right, all the little what do they call? I forget the name.
hamlets.
Hamlets.
Yep,
Thank
the
you.
little hamlets. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's so important. I'm not even going to make an appeal to just people who are going to vote for me to get out and vote. I want such a turnout that no matter what happens, everyone knows Warwick's voice was heard.
Mm,
That's what matters right now. That our
yeah.
voices are heard. So,
Yes. Yep. Our voices need to be heard.
so
Thank you, Don.
all right. Thank you, friend. So good to see you again. All
Oh,
right.
you too, and good luck with your election.
Well, thank you so much.